Hello and welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul, and this is the one-card tarot reading to mark the beginning of a new energetic cycle of readings on this channel. And these are videos that we do every Monday and Friday to start the beginning of the cycle, right? So we have to invoke the energies that will be presiding over this cycle, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would hit the like button, leave me a comment, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so yet, and if there is anything that you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know, okay? All right, let's get started. First thing we've got to do is not fade out the camera, but we've got to take all of our old energies off the table, right? So we'll put this tarot card back, we'll put the THOTH card back, the Jing card, and the Liber card. And first we will select our Jing energy for this cycle of readings, which will last until Monday. Eventually I'm going to switch from using these cards, I'm going to switch over to using, well, either the yarrow stalks or the beads. I think the beads would be faster, but it would still give us the same probability as using the yarrow stalks. But for now, we'll use the cards, which I think are quite nice to use anyway. So our Jing energy, 18, corruption. We had this one in a reading, I don't know which sign it was for, if it was Gemini or something, but corruption. So we'll take a look at this. It says, 18, corruption, creating success from the source, fruitful to cross the great river, before the seed day 3 days, after the seed day 3 days. There is some text on the back. It says, corruption, something dark under the surface of life, manifesting as patterns of negative experience. This comes from our past, our parents, or our culture. It's time to examine those old patterns, to understand where they come from, before you can tend to the growing seed of change in your life. What is behind the trouble? What is the hidden cause? Well, to augment that, I'm going to pull out this is my personal copy of the Jing that I've been working on for a while. For this hexagram, it says, the commentary on it says, inspire others to make them better. Repairing things can be very successful. Commit to something new and assess the before and after. Wind, see, this is wind below mountain. So wind is stopped short at the base of the mountain. An inversion or a stagnation, wanting refreshing. Things need to be in their proper place in context, not stuck in isolation. Purging of the stagnant may be needed. Calls for broader context, stimulation, fresh air, reform. Even the shortest moment is 6 days wide, right? So there's the past and the future extending from this present moment. Repair means to set your house in order. Analyze your choices before the renovation and evaluate their consequences afterward. The superior person orders his thoughts and feelings, reforms old attitudes, and strengthens her will. Psychologically, to stimulate the virtue of the people is to rectify the components of a complex. So this is about something that is basically in disrepair, that is in need of repairing, right? I think that's a very good energy for us to have for this cycle of readings, right? So I feel like that's kind of going to influence the context of the readings that we do during this cycle, and how those readings might apply to that idea of fixing what is broken, essentially, right? Okay. Well, let's do the Liber card now. And I still don't have I've got to get. See, I don't have a printer. I've got to get a printer so I can print out a sheet of these lotteria riddles. I think that would be really fun to know what the riddles are for each one of these. Oh, and that is the one for today. I don't know what this word means. Maybe if there are any Spanish speakers can help me out with this in the comments. Let us know what this is. El Catrine, yeah, I don't know what this is, but kind of reminds me of the Monopoly Man. Maybe this is a card that says, hey, look, let's not take ourselves too seriously. Let's try to, put our own actions in perspective. But this is interesting. That's interesting. Well, we'll have to learn more about the Lotteria cards and see how that is going to influence things. We'll do now the Tatwa card. And these are the 5 elements, fire, water, air, earth, and spirit, and the combinations of those elements into sub-elements. So there are 25 possibilities. And we'll see what we get for this cycle of readings. We've got the fire in the earth, and I think the last one was the inverse of this. It was the earth in the fire. Right now we have fire of earth. So this, to me, is kind of a Capricorn energy. This is kind of a Knight of Pentacles thing, right? Fire of the earth, the cardinal earth energy. It's how the physical actions, the physical environment is receiving the influence from the spiritual energy within us, right? From our spirit, our will. Our fire energy is creating the physical world around it, while at the same time the physical world is nurturing and sustaining our vitality, our creativity, right? This, to me, it even reminds me of like the sun energy, where there's that kind of nuclear furnace inside that is exerting force outwardly, while then there is gravity that's kind of exerting force inwardly. And we have a bit of equilibrium there. So this, to me, is very much about the spirit has to be at the center of everything, right? Our will, our connection with the divine informs all of our choices, all of our actions, right? Thought, word, and deed, right? So that's very interesting. I like that. And perhaps that is going to allow us to fix the corruption, fix what is broken, right? And maybe the El Catrine, maybe whatever this translates to, maybe this is one thing that does need to be fixing, right? Maybe we take ourselves a little too seriously. Maybe we have these perceptions or these airs about us that we need to reform, right, or to repair. Very, very interesting. We'll see how that plays out in the course of the readings. But now let's select our new guardian of the mystery card. And I think next in line is our alien friend, Alien Simon Mork Ripley, now as the guardian of the mystery card. Okay, so those are the energies and archetypes that will be influencing this current cycle of readings, which does last until Monday. Now, the planetary ruler of this cycle of readings is the moon, and hence the color of my costume here. That planetary ruler changes at the beginning of every cycle. It starts with the moon, and then we go to Mercury, and then we go to Venus, the Sun, Mars, Jupiter, finally Saturn, and then it starts all over again. Okay, so with the moon being the planetary ruler, it's a reminder that we need to tap into that subtle psychic sense, that sometimes we can't just use our 5 senses to know everything. We can't rely on our intellect or even on our feelings to accurately assess anything or make decisions. It has to be informed by spirit. We have to have that psychic, intuitive connection. We have to open ourselves up to that. We are all receivers, right? We all have the antenna somewhere. We have to kind of power it up, dust it off, clean it up, and allow it to do its job and receive that, that gnosis, right? Okay. So special shout out really still to all the Libras. It's still Libra season. So shout out to all the Libras who are having their birthday or have recently had their birthday. Happy birthday. Now this is going to be a general energy for this cycle. Try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together here. I am merely the messenger. And the card that we have just so happens to be the High Priestess, which is the moon, right? This card rules that sacred planet, right? The moon's not a planet, but whatever. So we have that emphasis now on connecting of being the antenna, being the receiver, right? Accepting this intuitive divine energy into our life. Right. This is the perception of those messages, those synchronicities, those signs and omens that take us right out of ourselves, right to the divine source. See, the High Priestess goes directly from the crown to our heart, directly from the spiritual self, right, directly into our hearts. Right. So it's that intuitive knowing. It's, you kind of think of instinct and you kind of feel like, well, I feel it in my gut, But with this, it's that intuition that we kind of feel it in our heart, where we just know something. I think it's those moments that we really feel the most connected, right? And it is between that spiritual source and our heart, there is a lot of interference. And that's all mental, emotional interference, right? So that's why we have to do these things that can quiet our mind, that can still our heart, so that we can receive what the priestess is showing us, right? And I think there's a lot that's going to be revealed during this next cycle of readings. A lot of secrets that might come out into the open, a lot of aha moments, a lot of information that is going to, I think, really help us to repair what is not working right now, right? To fix the corruption, to root out the corruption, right? And I think this is going to be really nice. I'm very happy to have especially to have major arcana. The last cycle we had that Four of Swords, right? And that was kind of about us stilling the mind, right? Getting that fourfold breath going, having a balanced, steady mind. We didn't solve any problems, but we've stabilized our minds, right? And that is one of the prerequisites to letting in this High Priestess energy, is to quiet the mind. And we can hear the voice of Spirit. We can hear the voice of our true self, right? This is, this goes right, like I said, right from the crown, directly to our human heart, right? Directly to our solar plexus, right? It informs us, it illuminates us. It is the messenger of the spirit behind the sun, right? This is coming from deep space, right? And it's powering our local sun, and that is animating our entire life, our entire being, right? So we're very thankful for this kind of messenger energy, to have this antenna, And I think it's interesting that this is the card right after that Four of Swords. So we need to strive to restore this psychic connection that we have with ourself, with the world, with the universe, with God, Goddess, Deity, guardian angels, ancestors, spirit guides, whatever you want to call it. Right? And maybe that's part of the corruption. Maybe the signal has been corrupted. The data has been corrupted a little bit. Maybe we're misunderstanding the message slightly. We'll have to see through the readings for each sign how all of this factors in. Okay. Anyway, I want to thank you, as always, for being here. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. I want you to remember that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.